Welcome back to Factorio. My name is Neil, so we are here over VULCANUS, and it's time for us to drop to the planet and get started on VULCANUS. So, objective for today, we're going to leave Novice completely behind. That's just going to chuck along. We're not going to make any changes to it. It is working as it should. Maybe we'll come back and do a little fix here and there or something like that. But generally speaking, we are now leaving it for a very long time. And the objective today is to set ourselves up here on VULCANUS. It is, we need to build new city blocks, build a landing block, we need to get power online, and we need to kill the first worm. So, what do we need to do? We need to get some construction pods down here, and we need to get this landing bay down here. Those are the primary things we want to do, because as we do, we need to explore and figure out what we have here and where we can start building. Because if we look at this, this is a city block that takes quite a lot of space, so that's a little bit challenging. Here we go. We are coming in with, oh, they come in at the same time. There we go. So now we have this, and we're going to just start by clearing some of this all the way up here. And this is why we wanted to have all this, so we can actually have the robots do a reasonable task. And we got the tungsten carbide, not really going to do much, but hey, we'll keep going up. So what I want to do is I want to go upwards and explore a little bit. We can also use this one. Let me just put it down here. Just to use that, plop it down, and then it gets some more, some more visual here. So we need to kill this worm because we want to use this space up here for our build. And the reason why we want to do that, can I just get the last bit? Yes. The reason why I want to do it, let me make sure, if I place this inside of the area here, then it will aggro. So I'm going to need to just put it here. And just to explore as far up as possible. Okay, so when we look at our city blocks, there's 1, 2, 3, 1, almost there. These are great locations, so they don't overlap with this location. So these two are going to be my main build locations, which means we need to take this out. So how the hell are we going to take out this immediately? Well, we are going to go up to our spaceship, and then we're going to take the 1000 we brought in, and the 1000 here, and that one. And they will now be coming into this location. Now, we need to make a blueprint. So I'm going to make a blueprint here. See, we don't have these in inventory. So now this just placed as a ghost. If I go in here and actually pick these up, then it will actually be placed. And I don't want that. Because when it's a ghost, you can actually go in here, take these, ghostly ammo, and you can actually put ghostly ammo in here. There. I don't want to put 100 in, but if I put 15. Now this blueprint will actually be remembering that it needs to be placed, and also be placed the power poles, these here. There we go. So this is 4x4. That's 8x4, and this is 8x8. There. This is what I call the worm killer. And for small worms, you need to stamp down one of this. This is 960 ammo. Coincidence that we brought 1000, right? And for medium worms, you need 2 of these, but you can't kill them without having way more of the upgrades here. This costs 2000, a little bit too expensive for us right now. We have enough to kill the worm, so we don't need to worry about it at all at this point. We can get a little bit of mining productivity, why not? So this is the worm killer, and I want to just show how it works by getting this one in. Did I remember to take it? Yes, I did take it before. So the way it works is it builds, and then it has to sort of flow out all of this, which means that it does take some time, and we need to make sure that we have robots available. So this is good. It works. And that's going to be how we're going to kill the first worm. Oh, one of them got hurt. There. Let's put that down so it gets repaired. Come on, someone repair it. Did we get... Oh, we didn't get the repair packs. There we go. That's important because they will also take damage. Okay, so now we go up here and kill the first worm. Hopefully. That's here. And we need to build it somewhat away so that I can build it. I can get all this done before it aggroes. And it should be aggroing now. Come on. Get in there. Yes, now it goes. Look at the health. And it's dead. And we need to repair. Great, so we killed the worm. That was the objective. And we now have this area clear. So this is how easy it is to clear worms. And I know that people go like, oh, but why don't you just poison modules and mines and rockets and tanks? Like, this is easy. Like, this is so easy. So we did lose a lot of random crap, but yeah, don't care. Like, we needed this in order to get started. If you don't do this, you just don't have enough space. Especially if you're using the map spawn that I'm using, then you just simply do not have enough area to work on. Right, so that was the first thing. That was interesting, neat, good, all that stuff. I am going to just kill all of this here. Good, and then that will just work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start working on a blueprint. So the worm killer is definitely one of the core blueprints that you're going to need. Let's get this one and then just look at the design here. So what we'll need to do is we're going to take this one because this can be fully built. So there. Right, so now we actually have the substations. And I want to make it with a substation grid instead. The reason why I want to make it with a substation grid instead is, well, first of all, we didn't have the substations before, but substations are just better. So if I do this, and do this, and then do that one in between, then I can here, and I can get it here, and I can get this here. Then I can take these small ones out. Oh, I'm actually going to keep this here and here. And of course we don't like these crosses here. We want to do it this way. So we take this and plop it around here. And we now see how the new city block is going to look like. Like that. And we also take this. And this is going to be the city block that we're going to use for all planets aside from Navis. Navis is still going to use the star pattern, but the future planets, they will be using this pattern. And we're going to be plopping it down here. That one. And that one. That will get us started with what we need to get us something. So, already a good start. Right, the next thing we want to do is we want to make the starter block. And actually, I think I want a here, this one, just trees, put it down here, and just sort of be able to just do this here and there. Right. Now I'm going to build this. Did I already build it somewhere? Yes, I do have it plopped down at this point, which is not what I want. I want that out. Good. And we'll also be careful not to overfill our inventory. There. And this is going to be a little bit tricky to place. Because I'm going to do this. 4, 6, and I think that's going to be just called that correct. Good. So now what we want to do is we want to establish a starter block. The starter block here will need to just establish the roboports and a little bit of solar power around here. So we're going to go to this location. This is stopped up here. And we can now just throw things down here. I'm going to start with these things here because they are going to be the most important things to get. And the solar and that one. I think that's the stuff that's most important. Once we get that, we can continue working. Great. Let's see. We are going to get... the reason why I use the cargo base is because they will enable me to get them to link faster. Oops. I should do that. And out here. Here. There. That should be enough for this. And what else do we have? We need some of this. Great. Right, so of course no power is available yet. We are going to use the solar power in this case. And 1, 2, there. And here, 1, 2, there. Good. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some of these. They will be in this area around here. They are obviously not gonna work. Are they the same line? Yes, they are. Good. And you're gonna be... The reason why I'm building this particular pattern... Oh, that was just switching to night vision. And here. And there. Good. And we're gonna put another one here, because that's gonna be used for... That's not powered, so unfortunately... okay, well, let's look at the stuff that isn't unfortunately. Let's start by out here. Like that. And... there. So now we get this solar power in here. Oops. And you can do it in many different ways. I just found that this gives us just a little bit of solar. And I know that people go like, but why don't you just... Yeah, why don't you just build the awesome sulfuric acid power? Yeah, because the point is that we need something to fuel the pumps. And we do need something to get going here. And unfortunately, I haven't really found a better way than just having to put one in here. I'm going to use this space here for a few different things. We're going to use... basically like we do on Novice with the hub. Like this kind of idea. Yeah, I'm not gonna set that up. I'm gonna be loading it in, so yes. I'll explain that this is a thing, and then I'll be loading up, because we're not gonna set up every single thing that we need to engage with, to import. Good. But that will be here, that will control here. I'll set that up. So right now we have a little bit of power. We get, if we put these in here, not all of them. Oops. I do have a little bit of that. And now I can also just go up here and say, we just ditch everything down to the planet. Except for the ammo. Because now they can absorb this much faster on the ground level. Not this. And then we enable this, and we simply, once it has ejected everything, we send it back. And then the robots, they just start working the way they should be. And I also should get the logistics robots in there. And I should put these robots in here, and these ones in here, so they actually get built. There we go. And we have to be careful not to go into this area. And we can't take out this area before we get more resources. So we already have like the very first thing. So now we sort of have our infrastructure in place. We got a little bit of this. What we really need is we need to build a power block. So we can't, because this is just not reliable. So that's just kind of how it is. We know that this is not reliable for our future, so we're gonna have to do something about this. So we do have like a lot of random crap here that we really want to get rid of, and just get that available. We want to make this into copper, and the iron into iron, and a little bit of steel, and then the stone into, well, surprise, surprise, into stone. There we go. So we're gonna be building a small thing before heading out, and that will be built from these. And I'm gonna build it here. There. Okay, so what are we gonna build? We are gonna be building, and that will be here. So, and this is all within blueprint area. Right, so what are we gonna build here? Here we are going to build iron into steel. So we're gonna input some iron ore, and I'm just gonna be greedy and take 500 here. And that will go in there, and I will highlight this because just making sure, and then it'll go up to that one, and then it'll go back in here. Good. Then the next one is going to be copper. There'll be iron and copper, and they'll go into stuff like this. And then here I'll bring in 500 iron and 500 copper. And these things are temporary, just need to get a little bit of each of these going. And do I want to have this? Yes, let's do that. Here, it's obviously going to be stone. That's the last of the things that are just kind of here. That one. And that will again be done here. And that one, which will then mark as stone, just to make it clear. Then I will also make another one. Oops. Yeah, but this one won't be going out unless the logistics network is overflowing with stone. Why? Because at some point we're gonna get like a ton of stone from forge builds, and I just want this to be ready for that. And that's gonna be here. Good, you are gonna be working on that. That's basically just getting rid of stuff. So this one will just chug along, so we have a little bit of iron, a little bit of steel for us to go. But now we're gonna be heading out. We are going to go down here exploring, because I have a sneaking suspicion that down here there might be something of interest. So we're going to be doing our new city block. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep linking it down here and see what we have down here. I had to make this infrastructure here a little loose so we could stretch our substations a little bit further. What we need to do is we need to make a design for a power plant, because that's kind of the most important thing we want to do right now. And for the power plant, the way it works here on VULCANUS is that we need these. Let me see where I want it. This one has some things we can't get rid of, so probably up here. That's also some cliffs. That's interesting. This can't be, but I think I can build it in here, right? Or I can also build it in here, right? This could also be a power plant, I suppose. Well, I just need one power plant, so I'm gonna build it here. That seems like a good place to build it. Okay. So as we do this, let's have a look up here. And we are gonna need, oh, I have one of these in inventory. Great. Here, and that is a special recipe that we don't have. Why do we not have that? Let's see, where is our stuff on this planet? There. It's a calcite. Yeah, we need to mine some calcite, which is fine, because that's exactly why we want to go down here. We only brought the 10 electric drills, which in retrospect might not be as much as I'd want. But it's a start, and I'm gonna put these into some storage boxes so they are now available wherever someone requests these. Good. And we now got the calcite process going, so we can do this one, which takes calcite plus sulfuric acid and turns into steam. Steam can be done to power, and then everyone is happy. So this could be logistics. Now we can do this one, and it's this one. It makes a lot of steam. So basically what we need is just 3 of these, because that will generate a 3,000 and 3,000, 6,000, and this one is consuming 60. So 100 of these is 6,000, and 3 of these is also 6,000. So 100 of these glorious little things should be enough. So let's put a little design together for this. And here we go. This one is exactly 100 that we can fit in here. There's 3 of these, and I'm going to bring it in on a belt in here. So the only thing we're missing is we need to bring sulfuric acid in here. And it just so happens that I can also use this sulfuric acid inbound to be leading it onwards and back into this location, where we also need sulfuric acid later on. But we're going to be needing something. This one, if we look at it, it is going to be this is, when it's fully operational, then this will be requiring 200 per second, so it's 600 per second. So it is actually quite a lot of inputs here. And these, we're just going to be building some kind of setup for this. I kind of feel that this might be the perfect setup. That line is the perfect location, and that everything can hook up to. Let's try that. We can also see back up here we have quite a bit of iron that we can use for making additional pipes. So, and we're saving up some steel because we need that for the foundries. So let me hook up something to this. So I brought 20 of these here, and I think I want to just lower the power consumption of this. Later on we will probably be putting some speed modules in here, but right now we're still a little short on power. Technically it's only until this one activates, but hey, let's have a look. Does it go up here? Is it going in? Do we get what we want? Yes, this has steam. Power is good. We are now, production is basically nothing because we're producing 582. This is producing 582, so now, very lovely. And this is just keep mining, and it'll then be put into these boxes afterwards. Whatever doesn't get used for power will be used here. So, we got a landing block, we got a power block, we got a new city block. That's a pretty good start, but we're not done yet. We are going to go back to our starting block here and do some of the things that is actually needed to get us going. So what is it actually we need in order for us to progress? So now we need to make tungsten carbide. That's a thing. So let's figure out how to do that and make a small build over here, and to try to figure out what it's going to be like. I have no idea how that's going to be. Let's do it like this. Yeah. And this will be tungsten carbide, like that. And they need to be getting sulfuric acid. And the sulfuric acid will now go here. And it will go into this one. And let's see. I think this has to go one tile over. Seems weird, but that's because I need this to go like this. That's a maximum distance, and this one is maximum distance, and then that one be in the middle. So here. That's gonna be it, and then that will be hooked up to this one eventually. But this requires some tungsten ore that we have a little bit from the harvested worm, and some carbon which we got a little bit, plus we can make some. So that's just going to be simple. We're going to be grabbing it in here and then putting it into a box again. So it's going to be here, and you're going to be, we're not going to get a lot of this, and we're also going to get some of this. Great. And since this is one of the important things, and we're really short on the tungsten ore, so we want to get the maximum value out of it. Still need the sulfuric acid, but now we can also do this one, I guess, because this can actually make that. So hook it up. The reason why I'm making it in this kind of weird pattern is because I also want to make sure that I can put a beacon in here. I'm not going to put the beacon in right now, but it will be necessary later on. Oops. There. Do I not get any more of these inbound? Yes. Another efficiency module. Great. And then I need to bring it in. That will just be from here and here. Right. Now down here we have a special setup. This is basically the same setup as we use on Nauvis. Basically we have a location here. I will have things that are specific requests to this planet if there's something we just need something of. But aside from this, if I have set up a regular recurring transfer between Nauvis and VULCANUS, then I should also be requesting that stuff here, because otherwise I shouldn't be making it. Which means that there will be a specific setup for the planet, plus a recurring thing from each planet. So the stuff that Volcora is exporting to VULCANUS will be a category, and that will be in here. And that will just make us keep track of it, so that it's the same thing we do on the ships as we do on the planets. And that will just make it so much more consistent with how to manage it. So you don't sort of manage individually planets, what are they requesting, but basically saying, okay, it's categories of between what is Nauvis exporting to the various planets, what is each planet importing, that will be the same, right? So that will be something, a consistent thing we're setting up. It means we'll have these groups, and that means that when this comes back here at VULCANUS, it should be ejecting the efficiency modules, and they should happen to get into our inventory. If I do that, and do that. Great. And up here, all we need to do now is get the sulfuric acid inbound. And we'll get that inbound. And figure out how to get it all the way here and in. And there we go, we now made the Foundry. So the Foundry is the core of what we want to do here on Novice, and I think we want to sort of get to the Foundry, and then we'll be really happy, because that enables all the awesome SRSBs, and that's the most broken thing in the game. Broken core feature in the game. So what we need to do is we need to get the steel plates. That's not a problem, we got a few. Electronic circuits, we got that in. Tungsten carbide, that's being worked on now. Refined concrete, that's a problem. And lubricant, which is something we don't have. So let's look at how we make some lubricant, because we're going to need to make a little bit of lubricant here. And we are going to use that one. Oh dear, how close, far apart do we need to make it? I think we'll need to make it like this. And that goes to simple coal liquefaction. Now, this one is obviously not actually working, because it needs coal inbound. And it's going to get coal from here, which will go that one. We just haven't done that yet, because it's part of this design. So I'm going to be going here. You and you are going to be lubricant. And we are going to get a box of lubricant as well. That's going to be here. And then that will also be part of a design space up here. And it feels a little weird. We can do that. There we go. And let's keep these going. So that's that part. But then it needs sulfuric acid. I'm going to get sulfuric acid in a little bit weird way, because we're also going to need water very soon, and I might as well just get this into the water as well. So this will be here, here, and then we're going to get a requester chest, which I will put here. That will be used for multiple purposes. This will be getting some coal, which we are not actually harvesting, and it'll also be getting some, and I don't care. They'll just build a lot of it. Oh, and this is kind of important. This should be filtered to coal. Nope. It should be filtered to coal only. Ugh, that's incorrect. There. No coal. No, only coal on that one. So we need coal inbound as well. This one to get here, and then we also need coal, and that will get us exactly what we need here. So we need a little bit more, a little bit of coal, which we get down here. Luckily we have coal. Oh, this is actually coal. We don't have a lot of these left. We only brought very, very low amount, which is problematic actually, now that I think of it. Maybe we'll actually do this one and just go, because now we suddenly went from having no power to having way too much power. So we can actually just, because we're kind of a little short, do that and then know that we get enough coal to get this going just from these four. I hope. Then let's see. So that means coal plus that plus sulfuric acid. So let's get sulfuric acid in as well. From here and here. It's weird. And we need to handcraft some of these again. So that gets us a little bit of lubricant. It's not a lot, but it's something, and we need that for moving forward. Then the last thing we need of sort of small micro builds that we need is to get water, because we need water for concrete and also other concrete. So that's kind of important. We're going to use this one, neutralization. That means it's going to take some calcite, which is happy. Then this will go into 2 water builders. There, steam to water. That will give us 120 water outbound. And that water will go out. And I guess it needs to go on this pipe. And we're still running out. Maybe bring more pipes. I don't know. We can also just do this. This actually works fine, so I don't know if it... Oh, right, now I get it. I was kind of unsure why it was... Here. And that one goes from here to here. And... there. And I'm gonna get a box. We'll just put the box here. Yeah. And the only thing that we are missing is the lava, but that's gonna come for soon enough. So we have water, we have lubricant, we have acid, and the only thing that kind of makes sense to have here is something we're not going to use right now, but oops, it's something we actually really would like to have, and that's this one, which obviously will also just get a little bit of box in here to get in with the things that we want. This one just get 50. The LDS also 50, and that one should then also be 50. There we go, and get those in. Right, so that is basically using up the entirety of this block. I can do that. Yeah. There you go. And that means lava. So this block is the starter block. That's complete now. It is self-managing, and the only thing we now need is a hub block. Of course, we're going to need a hub block, but the thing is, if I just stamp down the hub right now, then it's going to be... I can't build it because I don't have my first foundry, and I need foundries for it. So what I've done is, like the other hub, I have split it. This is the complete hub, but if I build it, then it starts sort of sending my precious resources into very few things. So I'm going to make this, which I call the hub basic, which is going to be stamped down. Huh. There. There. And all of this will be made, kind of. And the challenge topic priority is to get the steel. There will be a little bit of steel. So we get steel somewhere. We should have some steel here. Where does the steel go? Oh, it goes in here. Yes. I need to make sure that there's enough in here. Yeah, that's plenty. Great. So you can get your steel in here. Great. And we're also going to make some sticks. We're just going to make those ourselves because that's not very much we need. But this is why I brought concrete, because I want to make concrete, but that's going to be made in a forge. And I don't want to make a hack for it. So we're going to get this one done, which will get water, and it'll get my sticks. And when we get the water in, which is just basically this one. There. Is the water coming in? Is the water coming in? Yes. Okay, so you should disable by control behavior. Why is it disabled? Because I've controlled everything from up here. That means I need a little bit more so that I can get a radar. And once you get a radar, then should be good. And I'm just going to steal that so we can get a radar up here. And then I have also set up all of this so that I'm building the hub power, logistics, production and defense, fluid. Of course, this is so much easier to get this so that you, you can just stamp. If you stamp down the blueprint, then you get all this set up immediately, which I think is a lot simpler. So let's have a look. Are you working? Disable by control behavior. That's odd. Is it not connected? Is it not connected? Is it not? Oh, that one. Can't see. This one's ghostly. Ha! The reason why this is not working is because I'm using these as indicators, and I had planned for just using it for this, but it's actually used for an indicator. Let's see. This one's working now. It's working. It gets a little bit of this. Once it goes out, it'll be put up here. So what is it we need? These values are way too high. I need to adjust them down. So this should be like 50. And this one should be 30 because those are just the numbers that we need. This one will be... I have no idea. 50. Yes. And this one will be 20. There. Those ratios are exactly the values that we need here. Yes. And the lubricant also needs to get in here. So let's start making more of this so we can get these done and get the lubricant here. The thing is though, as you can see, this is not working because I can't use the foundry to build the first foundry, unfortunately. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna take this out, keep it here for a little bit, then I'm gonna replace it. And I had sort of debated whether I should keep this as a hack, but I want this to be the right one so that we can do the hack together and move on. Because you only really need to make one of these. There. And now this one is getting all the stuff and it's just waiting for the next batch of refined concrete, which we get from here. And then I can do that one, just a little bit more of this. And you're not working, you are also... Ah, that one is missing. There we go, this is working. And I only want to make one. So actually I need to take all of this out. So just make sure that it only builds one. There we go. And then I take this out. I'm going to put you back here. And then remember to reconnect the wire. Otherwise it doesn't work. And this has already been built somewhere. That's kind of sucks. Let's disable that and take that out and put it back in. And then put this one. And then we put stuff in here. Yes. Perfect. So now it works. And then I get the plus 50% here, the productivity. That's the whole point of this. And this will be put in. Then it will go in here. Get the lava. We don't have lava. Let's get lava inbound. That's also important. It's very easy as well. We're going to get one of these here. And yeah. And we just keep making a few of these. And that's the big mining drill. We're going to make a little bit more progress. And enable reports again. 2. I still need one more. There. So lava's coming in. Lava's coming in. Lava's coming in. And not quite. We don't need water out here, so we're just going to take these. And the water goes... Oh, the lava goes over here. Alright, we're going to go out and find a little bit more iron to pick up so that we can... Oh, actually, now that we have robots here, I can just use this to just go scrounge up whatever we have inside the network here. Because we have power to charge them. So that gets us a little bit more of the ore we need for building this. And we now have the lava coming all the way in here. That means we start working on getting the first molten iron. The molten iron flows over here. And that will be the 2 next locations that this will be in. I'm actually looking at this and just making sure that these will actually go in here. There we go. So now this isn't working, but it'll get working soon with the iron sticks. So we need this working. We need some more steel. That's interesting that we don't have the steel, but we can scrounge the steel from over here because this is not as important. We just need to keep this one going because once we do that, we can make the steel, we can make the concrete, and then the whole thing just kind of perpetuates itself, which is what we want. This one also get up there. There we go. So this one's working, and then I get 2 out there. That's going to be 1 and 2. Which is exactly what we need, because I didn't bring enough more concrete than to build 4 exactly of these. And it would be really nice if they got built here. Dude, why? Oh, because the damn construction things. I'm just gonna do that then. There and there. So, now this is working. We are now getting proper steel, because that's kind of what we're waiting for. And we're getting proper concrete. Concrete is gonna go in here. The only thing we're missing to sort of let it whole thing flow is a little more, a few more sticks, but that's going to be added. The reason why I built this thing here is because I actually need this to get going. How do I say this? Yeah, I need this part here to get going, because once I stamp down the whole thing, I'll be missing a lot of assemblers and a lot of long-handed and bulk builds here. So now it's working. This is kind of working, and then this one will also be yearning for steel, which is what we get here. Please just go in here so it goes faster. Concrete is not a problem. We already have a lot of that. And here, yeah, lots and lots of steel coming in. Great. And now that things have stabilized, we're still yearning for more steel. That's kind of always how it is. And then we can take the final part of it, and then you can see here how well it stamps on top. Just like this. We got everything going on. And then this is where we see that all of this is going to be a little bit problematic. So for example, some things are not particularly important, like building trains. I just kind of wanted to build trains here because someone might want to have trains. But what's otherwise is really important is to make sure that we get the inserters. Yes, please. Where are the inserters? Nope. And that's because the inserters are relying on the gear production. And we need some more. Oh, right. Look at this. This one is not getting made because, and because this is not getting made, I'm not going to have any underground belts. And if I don't have any underground pipes, then we don't get the connection. So you need to babysit it a little bit in the beginning, just to make sure that things flow here. And when we get the next of these, which you should get very soon, there, just get that for steel. Then we get 2 more there, and that gets this one. Yes. Great, so now we're also making the underground pipes. So everything is now coming together. The one things that are important are up here. You can see that since we can't get these red boxes, that's going to be a problem. So we might actually want to just help it a little bit along. We are also seeing that green circuits are lacking, to say the least. And that's should be fixed by the ship coming in here. Where are you coming in? You're now heading in, and look at all these glorious green circuits coming in. Yeah, we're not going to make circuits on VULCANUS until after we've been to Fulgora, because at Fulgora we are going to get... yeah, at Fulgora we're getting the electromagnetic plant, and I just don't want to be dealing with anything like that before. This is so fortunate. Like, the least important things, the train things, are the ones that are not here. Great. Here comes the green circuits coming in from Novice, and if I'm just looking at this, yes, it should be keep sending it off here until all of it is here. Great. And we have a few things. I'm just monitoring this part because this is stuff that we don't have that we want to have. So stuff like this, for example, we're missing the blue assemblers, we're missing the gears. Okay, because gears are used for so many things that, yeah, it's just gonna take a while for the gear factory down here to just kind of get what we need. Why is this one? Is this too slow? No, it's kind of fine. It is working at maximum speed, and that's just this is just a little bit of build for everything. And yeah, over here we have something for the next episode where we need to do science, but we haven't unlocked that yet, so no worries. We're just gonna let it run for a little bit so that we get everything sort of sorted out. I think that it's actually self-correcting right now, because if we look at it, when we get steel in here, then it will make a box. The box will go into one of these, which will actually work everything except this one is working. So everything will stabilize now, and we have a fully functional base on VULCANUS. We got power, we got tungsten carbide, we got lubricant, we got water, we got just a little bit setup, we got our new city blocks, we got our new power plant down here. Everything is just going to be absolutely amazing. We're even going to start getting some of these glorious things soon enough. Electric engines are in short supply, but these are just the things that will just chug along as we continue to work on the base. We also have ammunition, so the ammunition will gradually increase, and we have 368 in inventory there. So when we get a total of 1,000 in between me and the logistics network, we can actually take out another worm. So that's also something that trickles along. And there we have it. We have now landed safely on VULCANUS. In the next episode, we're gonna get science done. We're gonna get plastic. We're gonna get maybe not plastic. I don't know. Maybe plastic and maybe plastic, rocket fuel, and low density structure. But we'll certainly get the green belts and the most important thing, cliff explosives. That's for next episode. Thank you for watching. As always, with these blueprints and designs, they are available to patrons orders. So if you want to just have these so you can stamp them down or get inspired by them, they are available. And thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the channel and joining in on this Let's Play. Until next time, take care and stay effective.